Hey, it's the Mike Rogers Show here with you, and today is part 2 of the lead singer of Haley and the Crush. Wait a minute, we have a special guest too.
Oh, and he's blurred out.
Okay, I guess you better turn off the blur.
Yes.
The queen of Power Pop, Haley Kane, and her husband. What's your name?
What?
Dr. Reed Kane Esquire.
Dr. Reed Kane Esquire. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Yeah. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good. Just got off work.
What's that?
I just got off work.
Oh, that's good. So is it drinking time? Is it drinking time?
I just bought a 30-pack of Strohs. That's what they drink in Detroit.
Strohs. What's Strohs? Is that a beer?
Strohs is a union beer. I actually didn't grab one. But...
Yeah, go
grab one. So
Made in
yeah,
Detroit.
it's a very light beer.
Yeah.
It's a very light working man kind of beer.
Oh,
you work all day.
I think I've seen that before.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. It's what the locals drink, I guess.
So you guys moved to Detroit. Why did you move to Detroit?
Oh boy.
Do you want to take this one?
Well,
I like to say it's 3 things, just like 3 core things.
All right.
And that is,
see if I agree with you.
In no particular order, food, cheap real estate, and awesome art and music scene. So it's like those 3 things are like the core reasons. But
yeah, that it might be a little bit better than San Luis Obispo, I suppose.
Well, I like to say it's opportunity. So there's just more happening here. The economy, despite its reputation, is actually doing quite well. And it's just a bigger place, play more shows. We can tour out of here a lot easier. West Coast is a large place. It's a long way between cities.
Yeah.
So we can tour really easily out here.
Yeah, the ability to just go over to like Illinois or go over to Ohio, it's just fabulous. Like everything is so close. As you know, like past California person, like it's kind of wild. You can just kind of pop over and just be in Toledo and just have a whole new market. And like that has been really good for us. And we like the friendliness,
Well, I actually, when I was a kid, I lived in Minnesota. Well, my father was a Marine. I lived all over the United States, but I lived in Minnesota and used to go to Iowa, Illinois, a lot of places like that. Are there a lot of clubs there?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly it's a much stronger scene than California. There's everybody in the world, literally the world, comes to play in California, whether it's LA, San Francisco, the West Coast. And so you're really an oversaturated market. Out here, you get a lot more dedication to music. I think people are spending a lot less time working every possible second to pay for their lives in California. So I think there's more, just people can do more stuff here. It's a lot more free time, weirdly.
Yeah, the feeling of like freedom. And I've heard people literally say to me, I came here to focus on my art. And that just gets me, we've talked about this, like that was always my romance, to go off and do art. And it's like, now I can actually do that more of my time and not be so focused on that California,
hustle.
More hustle, it's crazy. Yeah.
So, this is getting off the subject a bit. So, you guys know Rodney Bingenheimer, right?
Yeah.
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 So did you know I was his assistant in 1980, 81?
Yes. And I believe you've told me about an interview the Ramones did when you were an assistant.
Yeah.
To him. But yeah, you were the top guy. I mean, that's how I met you, I think, or met him, or I don't know. I met you all at the same time. I feel like I associate you 2 together. So,
but what you're talking about, like, crazy. I'm not talking about Rodney's crazy, but like just that whole scene and all of those people. And that's why I left. Just everyone, I kind of thought, gee, in LA, everyone's either what's it called? I don't remember the word. A Satanist?
Satanist?
Yeah, Satanist, or they're just full of shit. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is.
I don't mean like they're really Satanists. What I mean is they just remind me of, like, pentagrams on their arms and and seances at their homes and stuff like that. That used to freak me out.
Well, it does. It's got to drive some people crazy to just be so close to the haves when you're a have-not. And even when you're like a quote unquote lower middle class person, in that realm, you're seeing people that have these multi-million-dollar homes, and there's this celebrity demon, that's just everyone's chasing that demon, and everyone's a sexy baby. Everyone's a sexy baby who's just like young and perfect and big boot. And it's just, I hate to like really put it all out there as a stereotype, but I think, you're not too far off with the Satanists. I mean, there's definitely some Satan worshiping going on there.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. It didn't really bother me, but it bothered me when someone would invite me over to their house and I'd get there and they'd be having a seance. I think it's called a seance on the floor, and there would be a pentagram and candles burning, and they'd all be chanting. And it's like, "Hey, Mike, come on in and have a beer." I would be like, I gotta go.
It sounds like you were hanging out with like Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue or something.
No, those people, I know that doesn't sound very fun. Sitting around in a circle, no matter what you're doing, is kind of boring.
I didn't think it was very fun, and I won't tell you the name. The person I'm talking about, but
my goodness,
that used to freak me out.
The only cults that we want is our cult, and our cult is a cult of fun, friendship, squeaky clean values.
That's cool.
And tiny dogs.
And
tiny dogs.
Yeah, that's right.
So now you guys got signed with Kitten Robot Records, Josie Cotton's label. How did that happen?
Well, not to get too like California hippie woo-woo manifesting, but I did write it in my journal. I said, I hope we find I said, I will find a producer that understands us and a label that understands us. And I couldn't ask for a better label or producer, and Paul Rossler, who's the producer over there, or a figurehead, and founder, and Josie Cotton. It's like, I think I just put myself out there. And I reached out and I just kind of said, hey, if you ever want to do like a split or like a fun little kind of cassette or 7-inch release, like maybe we could each do a song. I love you. I love Josie Cotton. And, I kind of put myself out there. And I feel like if you are putting out that vibe and it's like being received by a similar kind of mentality, like they were like, oh no, you should just join our weird club. And now we're like part of this great club of awesome eccentric artists that Josie and Paul and Bruce have all kind of like brought together. It's like a vortex of eclectic creativity. It's very cool. So I don't know.
Well, wait a minute. So what you're saying is you just wrote them an email or whatever, and they said, "Yeah, why don't you join our record company?" You didn't have an interview?
Oh, we had a Zoom. We did like a Zoom. We all chatted. And
they listened to our music, and we had some demos that we sent. So it wasn't like they randomly just chose us. It was a little bit of work.
Right. And I think, for a younger label as Kitten Robot is, I mean, I don't know how much of this is out there, but it's like a lot of the label was an effort to really honor and bring the rights back to Josie's music that she didn't own anymore. And Bruce Duff, who is the cat herder and does all the little does everything over there. He's amazing. He really helped fight for her music and bring give her publishing. And I don't want to get too into it because I don't really know all the details, but I know it was really it really was a statement for her to really be in charge. And I think with her being like, it's really her doing her own thing and having her own DIY label that's like, this is how she wants to do it after working with majors and maybe not being treated as well as she wanted. And for that reason, every person she works with, I feel like she does try to like have that personal connection with them. And she's looking for people that are also, scrappy and working hard. And we were already doing cool stuff. So she saw that as advantageous, I'm sure, for her label, because, we're out there already doing music videos. We're already promoting ourselves. And so I think it was like a really symbiotic kind of thing where we could help each other. And she's just a very cool person who honestly deserves every bit of spotlight and more. I think she's extremely talented. And if the label was just her re-releasing her old stuff, I'd be like, hell yeah. But she's doing so much new stuff now, and it's really inspiring. Like she really did save us in a time that we were very depressed. It was during 2020. We couldn't tour on our previous album. We loved our other label that we were at, Eccentric Pop, but they were not as invested and they weren't doing the production side of things. And so this was like kind of like this meteor fell on our heads. Like it was kind of like the perfect, you have to see the opportunities. I mean, I saw it and I went after it, and we definitely had a couple meetings, but I think we all just clicked. So, it worked out. We're all old punk rockers, or old-ish. And I mean, I say that like I'm grizzled, but I'm 35 and I feel like I have met so many different people in the music industry. And
I thought you were like 27 or something. And I was trying to figure out the dates. It's like, wait a minute, how could you do that? Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm rambling. I don't want to ramble about
No.
But,
it's totally fine.
Paul, Paul, of course, you were from that generation. I mean, he's like that original 77 LA Screamers producer, weirdo, 45 Grave, cool, like it works on so many levels. He understands every reference that we throw at him, from Phil Spector to X to, he gets it. He understands. He has the breadth of knowledge, and it's just killer. It's super killer.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I've been a fan of Josie Cotton since Johnny, Are You Queer?
Yeah.
I don't even know what year that was, but yeah, and then I got to interview her. I've actually interviewed her a few times, but yeah, she's so cool.
Her intellect, right? We're talking about books about Soviet Russia, and we're talking about, I mean, I don't even know. In fact, I do remember how we got to know her. I forgot this part. I interviewed her for Bust magazine because her publicist hit me up, and I was writing for Bust about it was her re-release of one of her albums. Now I'm blanking on it.
Oh, the one where she's sitting in the car.
Oh, the B-Girls. It was the B-Girls release. That's all the fun, campy songs from different B movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And so we got to chatting. And so we had like a little Zoom, and I had her on my podcast. And actually that is how we kind of fell in love. We're like, oh, we like each other. Like I could see myself being like a Josie Cotton one day. Like, she's got like the most epic, wardrobe, and, is just a fabulous, she's a gal about town in Hollywood. So, she's just the real deal.
Yeah, she's got to be Hollywood in crowd. Definitely.
She's just a cool, yeah.
So, okay,
We're
wait.
lucky.
I have to ask Mr. Esquire here.
Yes.
What is your job that you do besides playing bass in Haley and the Crushers? You just said you just came back from your job. Are you you're a professor at a university, or?
Yeah, general contractor.
Oh, so that's cool. You get to be outside then, right? A lot.
I prefer to not work outside. I'm an inside guy.
Oh.
So, but I've built houses and restaurants and bars, and just if it's in a house or a light commercial facility, that's what I do. So
so if you go to the bar, and I know a guy who worked in construction, and he used to take me someplace, and he'd say, "Hey, that bar there, I built that." Do you do that to people?
Yeah, there's restaurants in St. Louis. There's a number of restaurants, coffee shops. I used to do some stuff in the Bay Area that are still around, and so here and there.
You better believe he does it. You better believe he does.
That's good though. That's kind of a creative release. It's very similar, I think, to playing in a band.
Yeah, sometimes. I've been focusing on tile. It's a little more interesting in my opinion. So that's what I've been doing since we moved to Michigan. I've been kind of just being a tile setter.
Okay, so tell us about the very best show, your favorite show that you've played until now. What was it? Who was it? Where was it?
My gosh. Oh my gosh, you're gonna put me on the spot.
Okay? I know mine.
Go for it.
So before we had Haley and the Crushers, we had a band called Magazine Dirty, which was a little dirty band, and we played with Flag, like the reboot.
Yeah,
Flag, not the Greg Ginn crap version, but and that was awesome. Like to hear those songs from the guys who made them, Black Flag, one of my favorite bands. You know, it was like that was really.
And
rad.
Bill Stevenson on the drums.
Yeah,
and Soto and
Keith.
So it's kind of like a amalgamation of like badasses.
So we were the opener, and then they played, and I was like wiping tears. Man, it was so cool to see those guys.
Where was that?
I was in San Luis Obispo.
Oh, they came to San Luis Obispo and played?
Yeah. But it's only 4 hours from LA, so it wasn't. It was like a Tuesday or something, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, that was kind of what was cool about that band is, you know, being in between LA and San Francisco, we would get the call to play open for these bigger bands, and I know a lot of bands get that like hometown credential, like they're just big in their hometown. And you know what, that was cool. Like I kind of wish I could do that again. Like it was pretty fun. Don't have to tour, you just kind of hang out in your town, you get to play all these cool shows. And I guess for me, like I kind of have a short memory and I'm kind of ADHD, so I have to like, in fact I'm already like, it's already evaporating, I had it in my head. You
might be suffering from CRS.
What's that?
My dad has that.
Can't remember shit. I have it.
I am diagnosed. I love it. You're great.
So what's your favorite show?
Okay, so I guess, I mean, this is like such a silly, like, of course this is good, whatever, I'm gonna stop prefacing it. So we got to play the Viper Room.
Oh, that was rad.
The last Viper Room show, or one of them, with Nerf Herder, and that show was so cool for all the reasons that like we never get to play shows. Like for instance, there was a velvet red curtain that we were behind, you know Viper Room probably, and like we got to be behind the curtain, and they were like, okay, the curtain's gonna go up in 5, 4, 3, and like, you know, we don't play a lot of these like fancier kind of shows, so it was like that, and like the history of it, and the crowd was really fun, and it felt like iconic and historic, and like I kind of like worked it up in my mind as being like one of our last California shows as like residents. And so for me, it felt very touching. I mean, but then again, we played in our hometown in actually Morro Bay, California, and all our friends came out, and it was like a beautiful farewell, and everyone was like just hugging. And, you know, it's funny because it's a lot of the stuff that happens in your brain that makes the show good. It's like you can play it perfectly and no one you love is there, and you're like, eh. Or you could kind of play it off the cuff, and there's great memories and like doing shots with your friends and like after. And so it was really those last kind of California shows in my mind that are like, oh, like, I don't know. But yeah.
So, okay. Tell us what's in store for Haley and the Crushers. Are you recording a record? You're going on tour, or what's your plan right now?
We're breaking up.
Oh, shit.
We talked about that, sir, a little earlier.
I want you to know this is our last interview as a band.
Oh God!
I just want to like settle down, raise some kids, get a minivan.
You'll be doing that on your own then.
Oh, whatever. So we are on tour. Thank you for asking. We're actually on tour. We are on tour right now because we're going to the West Coast. We're playing San Diego in November, Los Angeles, and San Pedro, and we are kind of in the middle of like a little Midwest tour excursion celebrating our new album, Modern Adult Kicks, which you've been playing. Thank you for all your.
I played it several songs this morning.
I mean, this just sounds like I'm kissing your ass, but I'm sure you won't, like, you'll be okay with it. Like, you have no idea when you and Rodney kind of around the same time started playing our music in 2018, which wasn't that long ago. It meant so stinking much to us. Like it still does. And I still get goosebumps thinking about it, because that was like one of the first validating things that happened to us.
Yeah. You need validation when you're in a band. That's for sure.
And I remember some of the conversations we had about like, you know, your band in Ventura and like punk rock and all this stuff. And I just thought, you know, I'm honored to be part of that like tapestry of that going on. So like, thank you so much for like just supporting and playing us. It means so much. And so anyways, Modern Adult Kicks is our record, and we're just kind of evangelizing it wherever we can. We're bringing it on the road, and, you know, we'll be playing all through the Midwest in the spring. We hope to come to Europe and Japan if COVID will let us. and we're working on demos. So I've been demoing quite a few things and kind of working on new material. So that's kind of what we're up to.
So today I played Taboo. Wait a minute. I got to look through this. Taboo. And I played Cul-de-sac. And I played She Drives, which is my favorite song, Mr. Esquire. And
what's your least favorite song?
Actually, I listen to this. I get a lot of records, of course. And sometimes I listen to them and I think, oh, this song is good. This song is bad. This, but this record, and I'm not kissing your ass. I thought every song is good.
Oh.
And that's why we're getting the interview this time, huh?
Yeah, that's true. And I played Broken Window.
That seems to be the sneaker hit. Everybody seems to really like that song, which we didn't see coming, really. So,
yeah, that happened a lot. Yeah.
Every time you make a record, you kind of guess at what's going to be the one that's popular, right?
Yeah.
And my guess was Taboo.
Yeah.
Josie Cotton's guess was
what did Josie say?
Cul-de-sac.
Yeah, that's a Josie song.
Paul Rossler guessed She Drives.
A lot of Paul Rossler on that, singing a lot. He's singing a lot of those backing vocals, doing all those keys.
Is Josie Cotton singing on this record?
No,
but I just feel like if she could sing one of those songs, or if she wanted to, it'd be Cul-de-sac. I feel like that's more of a Josie style song.
Oh.
And then it's kind of moody and kind of vampy and dark and, it's funny. You just never know, but it just honestly, it blows my mind.
I played I Fall.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah, we put some, there was some vulnerability on this album. I was going through a lot during 2020. I mean, you're probably sick of hearing that because every musician's saying, oh my gosh, we went through so much and it's coming through the music. But I think now through this record, Modern Adult Kicks, we are a band to dance to, but we're also a band to cry to. Mm-hmm. And I want people to be able to feel all their feelings and also dance and also laugh. And I think this weird detour in life that brought us through Detroit and brought us through just a different life is good because it's made us a much more I hate to say deep, but just we're more nuanced. And I hope that people can hear that I'm trying to show my soul a little bit more and just shut up, Reed, and just kind of I guess
get real.
I guess I just it's fun to be dumb. I love that, but it's also fun to just be real. So
sure.
It means a lot that some of these slower, more vulnerable songs like I Fall and Broken Window that you're playing them and you're playing them next to. I see what you're playing every week. You're playing awesome punk and pop and it's just such great groovy hits and stuff. And so it's fun to see that up there with some of these more happy songs.
So actually I have 5 shows a week.
My God.
So I have a 2-hour Mike Rogers show on WFMU, a 2-hour show on just worldwide, and then I have a 1-hour show on Love FM. Those are Mike Rogers shows, so they're all basically the same format, except WFMU only plays basically Japanese bands. But I'm going to play you guys this week.
We're from Japan.
So
are you a celebrity in Japan? I've always wondered this. I feel like you would never admit to it, but are you a celebrity in Japan?
Well, people know my name, but nobody knows what I look like. Well, maybe they do now.
That's a shame. I mean, they're missing out.
I like being a radio DJ because no one ever knew what you looked like. And when you could go to restaurants or go with your wife and take your kid and nobody ever bothered you.
Unless you're Rodney, because that hair.
Yeah. Well, in Japan, David Bowie used to come here all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody ever bothered him. And really? I was walking, there's a place near Shibuya called Harajuku. And I was walking down the street one day and there was Eric Clapton walking down the street. Nobody bothered him or anything. I
wouldn't recognize him.
Is that the respect level? Just people are respectful and they don't want to take time?
Yeah, they just think okay, well, it's not a concert, it's not a show now, so leave them alone and don't bother them. And that's the way this society is. So David Bowie lived in Kyoto for a long time,
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was just some guy.
Wow.
Some foreign guy there, and the neighbors would see him and good morning, and that's it.
Wow.
So that's what he said he really loved about Japan. But it's that way for a lot of famous people. Unless you're out, trying to get people to pay attention to you to know what he does.
Yeah. I mean, it just sounds more and more attractive the more you talk about it. Not that we're famous at all, but just the fact that people are just considerate, and I don't know, like the food, like the culture is just so cool. I feel like I'd love to just dive right into it at some point.
If you guys come here, you have a tour guide, and then I'll take you to places where people will know who you are, and they won't leave you alone.
Yes, I want to be a
Sold.
Harajuku girl. I want to go to the fashion avenue and like get all the frilly dresses. And,
oh my God.
I would have so much fun.
So your husband and I will wait at a coffee shop.
That's right. That's right. Or drink some beer.
Anyway, so I got to ask you a question, and this is the last question. And if you come to Japan, you got to get used to this and be prepared for it, because they always ask this question.
Oh.
And it's stupid. So do you have any last messages for your Japanese audience? No, I'm serious. They ask this every time.
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay, cool.
I would like our Japanese audience to remember to dance like everyone is watching.
Wait, what? Like everyone's watching?
Yes, dance like everyone's watching, not like no one's
like you're
watching.
Putting on a show.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And the world is your runway. We're all born naked and the rest is drag, as RuPaul, the mighty RuPaul says. That's I'm leaving you with a cheesy quote, but that's my final words before I die.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. This has been really great. We're going to put it up, I don't know, next week or something like that. But thank you, Haley. Thank you, Doctor. Is it Dr. Esquire?
Fake doctor, fake lawyer.
My parents are very proud. Fake doctor, fake lawyer.
Wait a minute. Your parents don't know what you really do?
They certainly do.
I'm just joking that they would think that he is a fake, that he's a doctor and a lawyer, when really he does the more important work of playing bass and being a fabulous father to our rat dogs. So yeah, thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you. Bye. I have a dog, but he's sleeping.
We absolutely love you, and thank you for all you do.
For everything.
And we're gonna come and enjoy some sushi.
So, anyways, thanks so much. Thank you so much for this interview. This has been very interesting. I feel like we could talk for another 4 hours, but
I know.
Thank you, thanks so much to Haley and the Crushers and Dr. Crusher. Your name is Dr. Crusher, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought.
He's got a lot of names. It's all right. Bye.
Bye.